Hey guys, Rob here. Welcome back to the channel. I think you guys are tired of me telling you certain things to look out for if you want to buy a home and be a homeowner. If you listen, your home buying, home owning, and home selling experience will be excellent. There you go.
If you have an HOA, read the covenant. Read the covenant. Don't be deterred by the fact that you have an HOA. Just read the covenant. That's going to tell you that if you had a desire and a plan and a goal and ambitions to go and rent your house out to traveling nurses short term, that you can or you can't. That's going to prevent Scott coming over and knocking on your door for the third time because he feels like you're not reading the covenant and he feels like you shouldn't have short-term leases because it's clearly outlined in the covenant. I want you to read the covenant. I want you to read the covenant because you had ambitions of your lawn looking a certain way, extending that front portion of the driveway, but then your HOA tells you that you cannot have white river rocks. It tells you that your fence cannot be that color. I want you to read the covenant. I want someone to tell people that are buying homes for the very first time, these new builds, to research the developer.
I wanted to stop her right there because she's making some good points about HOAs before she goes into researching the builder. But what she's referencing, let me scroll down a little bit. Let's use AI, Google's AI, since a lot of you guys go there to get all your information. CC and R's stand for covenants, conditions, restrictions, and these are legally binding rules created by the developer or developers or a homeowner association. And so these are the rules that dictate what is going on. Where I live today, we don't have a Scott. One of my neighbors, his wife, her name is Karen. And Karen or Karens, that term that has been put on folks for doing too much. And maybe Scott, I don't know, maybe that's the term for males. But when you feel like they're doing too much after you've moved into a neighborhood without reading the covenants, conditions, and restrictions, then that's on you. So if you're out here in pre-home ownership land and you're all juiced up and excited and you've been probably pre-approved and now you're on the hunt for that perfect home for you and your family, if you are going to buy a home that is governed by CCandRs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions, have your realtor make sure you get those things during your due diligence period. And you need to read them. Now, a lot of you guys, don't like reading, you're busy and all that. I get it. Well, maybe you put it in something like a notebook LM. Use one of these large language models that you can have it ingest the information and then you can ask questions before you move into the neighborhood. Real life story, because I know you guys like that type of stuff. I have a neighbor that was not the original owner of the home. The original owner, he was going to move in. He was engaged to be married. That didn't work. They didn't end up being married. So he closed on the home, and 2 months later, he put it on the market to sell it. Hate to see him go. If you're out there, man, watching it, you know who you are. So some new folks come in. And you know me, I mind my business. Where I come from, we learn how to mind our business. I'm the best neighbor that you can have because you might get, I might throw it up, chunk up the do signs. I'm going to look out for your stuff. I got your number, something going down. That's all I expect in return. We ain't got to be at all the barbecues and all that ain't me. You feel me? I ain't that dude. And so the new folks moved in and they gets the planting plants that are outside of the boundary lines. See, there's boundary lines on your property. And all of these rules are in the restriction part of the CCNRs that they obviously didn't read. And a lot of you guys don't either because you get into stuff first and then you want to complain later. TikTok, Facebook groups, all these things, when you should have read the C, and RUS before you move into the community. So that's where you go to find out what you can and cannot do. So because I am who I am and I am from where I'm from, I'm like, let me holler at them real quick. And so, you know, uh, it went the way it went. I had to do what I had to do. And coming up, I'm gonna just have to cut some stuff down because most folks that don't read the C, and RUS, in my experience, are ignorant, right? They're line steppers. And so we don't want you to be those type of people. If you're the type of person that don't want nobody telling you nothing, don't move into a community that has homeowner association covenants, conditions, and restrictions.
Because your developer made that living room with the judges panels, the cute beams on the ceilings, with the barn door that was really, really cute to you, that had that extra bonus room. But they're hot trash. They literally tell their contractors to just make it work with the budget that they have, and they just want to pass the inspection, and that's it. They've been known to have 1-star ratings everywhere, but aesthetically, it looks really pleasing. I want you to tell them to do the research on that developer.
That's another good one, y'all. Why is it that we as people do the research after we find, or after we move into the home, or after we sign the contract, or after you sign the loan documents? Why is it you seek to understand after? I get it. I was there at one time too. Maybe it's because you just don't know any better. You weren't taught any better. And that's why you come to these videos. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything of that nature. What I want you to do is listen. These are things that you need to do up front. Specifically, what the young lady is saying is do your research on the builder. I get it. The model home looks gorgeous, and that's what it's designed to do. But you ain't living in the model home. The main thing I want you to understand that builders are in business to make a profit. Know before you owe, because after you owe, then you just making noise. Okay. But again, you guys are doing your due diligence up front. That's why you're watching these types of videos so that you can understand what it is that you need to do more so than just get into a house, right? It's a process, it's an investment, long term. Okay. And more importantly, you are going to want a peace of mind because you're living there and you're nurturing your most valuable asset, in my opinion, which is your family. Do you agree thus far or do you disagree? If you agree, let me know what points you agree upon as far as the CCNRs and HOAs, covenants, conditions, restrictions, and doing research on builders. Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you. If you disagree, let us know why you don't agree. Cool? Let's continue.
Because that townhouse is not worth $350,000. I want somebody to tell people to not look at debt to income ratio just to get a pre-approval letter, but rather to look at debt to income ratio because your bill's going to go up. Yes, your mortgage is low at this point. Yes, it's less than your rent, but soon and quickly, soon, if you're not careful, it will go up because, escrow.
Man, she cooking. I just got a text. Maybe I can have the editor put it somewhere here where we don't show the name of the person, but the question is very important and it might help a lot of you guys. But someone that purchased a house a year ago, tax assessment time has come up, and the person is wanting to know, hey, what can we do to potentially lower the taxes on the property? Because they don't agree with the assessment. Well, there's a process where you can go and dispute the increase or the value, the appraised value of the county, township, or parish where your house is located, because that value is what's then used by the local government and the millage rates to assess the tax bill that you have. You have to be proactive and understand what those guidelines are. Now, I actually sent this out to this person in the email newsletter that we have with those of you that close with little things like this. But a lot of times, if it's not on your radar, it's not on your radar. But here's the deal, you would have to dispute those things. But to her point, what she's saying is this: you can't buy at the maximum because somebody told you that they can't. That's on you. The same ones that didn't read the CCNRs. And now you want to bitch and complain that somebody put you in a bad position. You put you in a bad position. You have to listen, guys. You have to listen. And that's what's lacking a lot in the room today. You can find somebody to put you into a loan because they just only get money tip. But it's very, very hard to find a professional that is going to try to look out for you. But at the end of the day, man, we can't stop you from doing anything. So taxes and insurance are not a part of the fixed portion of your payment, principal and interest. They are going to rise. We have no control over that. What you need to do is understand, in this case, the dispute process. In my example about the appraisal district and the value that they're assessing, or there's a lot of companies out here now, okay, which I won't mention because they're not sponsoring the video. Y'all reach out to me and maybe we could work something out. You feel me? Know before you owe, because once you owe, you got to pay if you want to stay.
Property taxes, because it was assessed based on the land and not the parcel on the land, because right next to you were 5 vacant lots with nothing built on that land. And now when the assessor comes back out, they're going to reassess with now all of those buildings up on the land, and they will go up.
Because he's mentioning a new construction. That's another thing. When you go back to that builder statement that I made, understand that when the lender or whoever it is that's putting your loan together, if they're not doing so and projecting what the tax valuation will be on a home, a fully built home valuation, then know and understand, not only are you going to be getting an increase, you're going to be getting a surprise.
Your insurance is going to go up, because all of the things that go along with FHA is not just surrounding, that low down payment, that 3.56% or whatever it is. It has more to do with the PMI. It has more to do with what you're going to pay for the next 10, 13 years. I want people to tell people to actually get somebody who can fix it, because it is going to go up. It's going to go up. It is going to break. It's going to stop working. Whatever it is, please don't go on YouTube University and think that you're going to DIY something and you are not a skilled electrician or plumber. Go and get somebody who can actually fix it. Here's a list of resources. That's what I really want to hear. Because right now I'm hearing this narrative that home buying is undesirable and unobtainable, and that sucks. Because the people that are privy to the information and the knowledge, they're going and buying the homes and they're renting it out to you. And it's quite the investment, and it's actually pretty good. But if this is the narrative that's going to continue on, then yeah, we're all doomed. We're not going to buy anything.
I'm going to hit the last couple of things she said. The maintenance. If you buy right and you have some margin in your debt to income ratio to account for the increases in taxes and insurance that are going to go up over time, and you're able to have the ability to take 14 cents, 0.14 cent times the square footage of the home, and you're able to put that away every month from day one, I'm very confident, not going to say guarantee, I'm very confident that when the garbage disposal, I just replaced one at the rental property, garbage disposal, $150. When it goes out, you'll have that money. I disagree with her in that you need to have someone come out and repair everything, because a garbage disposal and YouTube University, my daughter can fix the garbage disposal. It's just a little want to. If you want to, if not, you have the money set aside because you have prepared. You prepared for it. Wealth mindset is preparation. Poverty mindset is reaction. And most folks, everything is a reaction. And so 0.14 cents times the square footage, put that in your budgeting when buying a house. And this is why you can't max out, because you know as an adult that when the garbage disposal, the filters for the AC that most people don't change and cause 15 to 20,000 or more in HVAC. But when you don't do those things on a regular basis like you're supposed to, well then hopefully you've been saving that 14 cents times your square footage every month. And then you look around and you have thousands of dollars. Now home ownership is not the issue that you think it would be. As she said, if you allow these algorithms to keep pushing what you want to hear, you will own nothing, but you ain't gonna like it because rent is going up. If you've gotten this far and you say, you know what, I understand what you're saying, I would like to have a conversation. Why with me? I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and I've been doing this 20 plus years. Click the link in the top pinned comment or in the description of this video. Watch these next two videos: how to be pre-approved and understanding an escrow account, so that you can continue your education if you're not ready to reach out. You guys stay blessed. Indeed.